Total Drama has had a lot of winners over the years, from heroes to villains to complete accidents. Some winners dominated their seasons and fully deserved to win. Others kind of coasted and, in some cases, were very lucky to win. I decided to take a look at all 16 canon winners and rank them. This ranking is based on how big of a role they actually played in the season they won, and ultimately if they actually deserve to win. Remember that this is my opinion, which is likely going to be different to yours, so please be nice in the comments if you disagree with me. Also, please note there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen any of Total Drama, first of all, what the fuck are you doing? Sort your life out. But then once you've done that, be sure to come back to this video once you've watched every season. I'm Tom, and this is the TD Tom YouTube channel, and this is me ranking every Total Drama winner.
Hey, Rick may not be attractive in any way, but he is still a person.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Coming in last, and in my opinion is the least deserving winner in Total Drama history, is Wayne. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Wayne, and he's probably my favourite character from the reboot cast, but did he deserve to win Season 2? Not really. Wayne and Raj did much better than everyone thought they would, but it never really felt like they were ever going to make the finale. Although they did play a relatively big role in the season, it just felt like you were waiting around for them to be eliminated. Even right up to the final moments, I had no idea that Wayne was going to win. This was undoubtedly the most surprising victory in Total Drama history, but one that I welcome with open arms. It was nice to have an unexpected winner for once, but Wayne definitely didn't deserve it. Caleb and Julia bossed Season 2, and either one of them would have been a deserving winner. However, Wayne won, but we're still happy about it.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Jeff and Brody winning the Ridonculous Race was definitely a big surprise. This was the first and only time where a previously eliminated contestant was brought back and ended up winning. It was nice to see Jeff return after such a long time out, and Brody was such a breath of fresh air. The Turford dudes were a great team, and I always enjoyed watching them. However, they kinda coasted through the early episodes. I mean, they didn't really have a ton of screen time, but I suppose once there were fewer teams left in it, this did start to feature more. I also saw them more as more of a comic relief rather than a serious competitor. However, they were given a lifeline and they took advantage of it. Again, a surprising winner, but one you're pretty happy with.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
This might piss a few people off, but I don't care. Beth winning Total Drama Action felt like a bit of an anticlimax. It's annoying how she's the canon winner for the UK, yet she didn't really do much. Yeah, she played a relatively big role throughout the season, which I expected her to do anyway since her time in the island was so short. But did she just deserve to win it? Absolutely not. I'm so glad they have two winners in the early seasons, because if Beth was the outright winner, I would feel robbed. The season was screaming out for a Duncan and Lindsay finale. Even Courtney or Harold would have been more deserving of a spot. I've made it clear in the past that I don't like Beth, and this isn't me being biased. I genuinely don't think she deserved to win this season. The only reason she's not last is because she played a big role in the season, and it makes more sense to have her in the finale than it would have been for Jeff and Brody or for Wayne.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
All Stars was a weird season, and unfortunately the finale was very anticlimactic. One of the criteria for this ranking is that the winner needs to have played a big role in the season, but Mike was gone for half of it. We still saw Mike inside his own head, but in terms of actually competing, Mal did all the work for large parts of the season. If Mike didn't defeat Mal and retake control of his body, and Mal ended up winning, I would argue he actually was more of a deserving winner since he actually crushed the competition, almost literally at times. But he didn't, and Mike regained control, so he ended up winning. I like Mike, but there was no way he deserved to win this season. Even if All Stars had played out like any other season, and Mike was in control for the full year, I would never have picked him to be the ultimate champion.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
A lot of us, except for Mike, could be except for Zoe as well. Although Zoe did play a big role in All Stars, I'm still unsure if she was deserving of winning. But when I think about the cast and who actually did deserve to win, my mind draws a blank. Did anyone in All Stars really be winning material? Maybe if she hadn't already won an island, I might have said Gwen. But like I said before, it's a strange season, and as a celebration of Total Drama, it was done very poorly. I don't know, maybe Zoe did deserve to win in the end. It's like the best have a bad bunch type scenario, I think.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Okay, This is where people are probably going to start disagreeing with me. Before you start leaving your hate comments, just hear me out. Cameron winning Revenge of the Island was a perfect underdog story. From a kid who spent his entire life in the bubble, to end up defeating 12 other kids to win $1 million is really good. However, he was carried a lot. First by Mike and Zoe. They were like the frontmen of the band, and Cameron sort of just followed in the background. After Mike's elimination, he mingled with Joe for a little bit, and actually masterminded her elimination, which was pretty good. And Lightning literally carried him to the finish line in the cooking challenge, and only won because Lightning turned his back and Cameron touched the flagpole before him. Zoe also carried him through the Franken Forest, and he won the lottery when Lightning sent Zoe home over him. Cameron got his own back during the finale. He used his brains to outdo Lightning's brawn, and ultimately won. I'm not trying to take anything away from Cameron's win, and we were all rooting for him, but he was carried so hard through the season.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Again, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this one, but it is what it is. Don't get me wrong, Owen was arguably the main character in Total Island, but he got very lucky on his way to being their first ever winner. He held his own in some challenges like the dodgeball, Phobia Factor, and in others, but wow, he should have been eliminated so many times. First, in the cooking challenge, Owen and Heather can thank the law that Beth took the cursed doll from Boney Island, otherwise it would have been one of them two going home. Owen literally sabotaged his own team by eating the main course, which should have sent them home really. Next, the cycling challenge. Had Chris not been a fucking idiot and changed the rules, Owen would have been eliminated, since he burnt out first and technically finished last in the final race. Instead, we got the most bullshit elimination in the history of the show. Funny, but bullshit. And last is the race back to the camp. Owen had the chance to win it, but he went for the brownies instead of the flagpole, and Duncan somehow gets eliminated, even though Owen cost him it. Yeah, I don't get this one either. Owen had a lot of luck in Ireland, but you just can't deny the role he played in the season. And he is a fan favourite, which is for a very good reason. I just don't think his win was that fully deserved.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
The next 5 or 6 entries could be put into any order, so I'm not going to mind it if you disagree with me here. Now, the reason why I put Sky as low is because I feel like it would have been slightly anticlimactic if she'd won Pocketeau Island. Her whole arc just involved Dave and whatever the fuck that was. And once Dave left, I was just sitting around waiting for her to get eliminated. Not because I don't dislike Sky or anything, but because I was just convinced that someone like Sugar or Jasmine would end up making the finale over her. Sky held her own in the challenges, and definitely didn't course along, but this is probably the only time where I just had genuine no emotion or reaction to someone winning the show.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Gwen is a weird one. I would argue that she was more deserving of winning an All-Stars rather than Island, but I still think there's a reasonable case here. Along with Owen, Gwen was the main character in Island, which showed from the very beginning. She very quickly had arcs with Trent and Heather, and later with Lashawna, Duncan and others. She wasn't the strongest competitor by any means, but she was definitely one of the smartest, and I think she definitely deserved to win. I just don't know if she truly dominated the season as much as the people above her in this list did.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
As I've said many times before, Sean is by far the best thing to come out of Pocketeau Island. He was a bit of a wildcard at times, but he was definitely a strong competitor. His obsession with zombies was a bit strange in my opinion, but oddly I think it helped him to win the core competition. He did very well in the challenges, which I think really came to life in the merge. I don't think I've seen someone really be in the element in the merge like Sean Watt did. I'm not saying that Sean was like a bit of in the background in the teams, but because he definitely played a big part. I think he was truly in his element when it was everyone for themselves, which I think helped him to win, and I'm very glad he did.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
No, you're not seeing things. I put my favourite character nowhere near the top of this list. Duncan is the best performing player in Total history, having made the merge in every season he's been in, and usually making it to the final 5. Duncan was one of the main characters in action, and definitely did deserve this spot in the finale. Was he dominant throughout the season though? At times he definitely was, but I also think he rode his luck quite a few times. If Courtney didn't come back halfway through, I'm not entirely sure Duncan would have made the finale. Yeah, he was distracted by Courtney at points, but at the same time, I think it drove him to want to win. Unfortunately, Duncan isn't the kind of winner in the UK, but I still think he was more than deserving of winning.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
This one is pretty similar to Gwen and Ireland in my opinion. MacArthur and Sanders were definitely established early on as main characters in the Ridonculous Race, and definitely played a big part in the season. The rivalry with the Ice Dancers was so good to watch, and they definitely dominated in this season. It's weird though because, aside from the Ice Dancers and the Surfer Dudes, they didn't really have that many meaningful connections with the other teams. Nonetheless, they definitely deserved the win.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
This is another strange one. Heather was a powerhouse in Ireland, and I would argue she deserved to win there more than she did in the World Tour. However, her win in World Tour was very satisfying. She was the main threat in her team, and was constantly on the chopping block. However, there weren't any bullshit eliminations that kept her in the game this time. Rather than to sabotage everything, she actually played the game properly and to her own strengths. Her rivalry with Alejandro was my personal favourite in the entire show. It's just a shame it ended pretty flatly in All Stars. Heather and Alejandro being the final two in World Tour was definitely the most deserving, and this was the first time I was genuinely happy with either person winning.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
You might disagree with me on this one, but Lightning dominated Revenge of the Island. Despite the toxic Rasp just being plain awful, Lightning managed to be the only member of the team to make it all the way through to the merge. I'm not counting Scott and Joe's team switch in episode 6. In the merge, although he had his mini alliance with Joe, you could tell that Lightning was going to storm his way to the finale. Even though he was probably one of the dumbest contestants in history, he's also one of the strongest, which I think was his biggest strength in this season. Lightning won a lot of challenges on his own, and although we were all rooting for Cameron in the finale, you can't deny that Lightning would have been a very deserving winner. Would it have been boring? Yes, but again, it was deserved.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
This is the only time in Total Drama history where I actually predicted the winner in the first episode. I mean, it was pretty obvious, right? Priya's whole character arc was that she was basically made to win Total Drama. It was kind of sad that someone's parents would rather than be a reality TV star than literally anything else in life. But it made for pretty good TV, and she's a cartoon character after all. I mean, Priya absolutely dominated the first reboot season, and she did it through pure strength and determination. Even after she carried Millie to the finale, and then that Millie was just a horrible person, she used that to just crush Bowie in the finale. Arguably the most dominant performance in Total Drama history.
I would also like to be part of this fight, so I am using my angry voice even though I am not angry.
Without a doubt, the most dominant and deserving performance in Total Drama history. Alejandro was ruthless in World Tour and destroyed the competition. He used Justin's early strategy from action and turned it up to 11. Let's just have a look at everyone who was eliminated solely because of him. Harold, Bridget, LaShawna, DJ, Noah, Tyler, Owen, Courtney, all eliminated because they blindly placed their trust in Alejandro. Well, except for Noah, who actually didn't trust Alejandro at all, but he still managed to use it to his advantage. Even Courtney later admitted that Alejandro played them all off the park. Like, if that doesn't tell you how much Alejandro just controlled the game, I don't know what will. This was probably the only time where I think people are actually rooting for the villain to win, because he was just that good. In my opinion, Alejandro is the most deserving winner in Total Drama history. Well, there you go. What do you think of my ranking? Again, remember that this is my opinion, so don't be a dick in the comments. Who do you think is the best Total Drama winner of all time? Is there anyone who you would have had as a winner instead of someone who actually did win? I've been TD Tom, and I'll catch you all next time.